Well, you don't throw a fit about it and be a little bitch. You nut up and you figure out a solution. Okay, so if you drive for Indiana Transport, this is not new news for you. A few days ago, you log into your self-dispatch app and you see that all of your normal rates have went down. And then everybody floods the Facebook group with, why this, why that, I heard they're selling, this is happening, fuel prices are going up, but this is going down, Joe Biden sucks. Yes, I agree. But what's the real scoop on it? I read through almost all, and then I just tried not to keep up, of the comments pertaining to our rate decrease. Well, as I was finishing a family vacation, Matt, who is the new kind of head guy of the multi-haul division at Indiana Transport, had called, and I knew he was calling because he wanted me to take some random load that they need moved, and that's why I never answer the call when I see it's from Indiana Transport. That's besides the point. But I figured I'd answer it because I wanted to ask some questions. And funny enough, I sent him an email the day before asking him about, just two basic questions about the rate decrease. One was this a planned, known decision, or was it truly a quote-unquote overnight decision? Because that's how it was perceived by the drivers, right? And then two, is this something where it's for a set amount of time, where it's contractually locked in for so long, or this or that? And if so, for how long? Never replied back to it. Normally, he's actually really great at just firing back emails when you're corresponding. But it was an email that he more than likely didn't want to respond to because it was a negative email. But it was a professional email. There wasn't anything negative about it. And so as I pull up to the gym right here, all I could think about was how if I were to, let's say, change the pay of my coaches. We went from a commission-based pay, which is kind of how the part of it is. The other part is base pay. And we just went straight flat rate hourly wages. I didn't tell them, and I did it. Well, they would rightfully be upset, or especially upset if it negatively impacted them, or they would lose trust in the ownership or in the the hierarchy of our company. So if he was going to reply, I was going to follow up with that email of just I know that it's a waste of time. And number two, again, I'm not complaining. I still think that there's no money to be made in RV transport. So there's that. But when he had ended up calling, I asked him those questions, and I had just said, I'm sure this is past your pay grade, but whoever coordinates communications, even if it was just a right before we do it email that says, hey, this is what we're doing and here's our bullshit excuse as to why, you're still shining light onto what's going on. You're not leaving people in the dark. And communication is key with everything. You try not to communicate with your wife, well, you're probably getting a divorce, right? Yeah, you need communication. So he's like, oh yeah, man, I totally agree. And I was just, again, he probably didn't want to hear me ask the questions or give my 2 cents that, doesn't affect the price of rice in China, in his world. But, it's just kind of funny when you see things being done a certain way, and however much hate mail, hate calls, whatever they got from drivers, because, again, if you're in IT and you're in our Facebook group, you saw the comments flooding in, all negative. This is BS. This is a conspiracy. They were bought out. A lot of that could have been prevented. Again, those that are going to be upset are still going to be upset. Those that don't care are still not going to care, and everything's still going to go on. But all you're doing is you're just putting a better taste in the mouth of the people that you're, giving a drink to, so to speak. One of the things that I heard in the comments, and so I asked him about this, someone had mentioned, hey, it wasn't the rate, it was the fuel surcharge. And that's correct. You look on your itemized list, fuel surcharge went from 42 down to 39 cents. So for instance, Synergy has been at 40 cents for their fuel surcharge ever since, the increase. And they're also owned by Patrick Industries or whoever owns IT. And so now we're just, we're a cent below them. Horizon doesn't show a fuel surcharge or anything. So just from drivers I've talked with, they don't see that breakup on their rate. But Matt had mentioned that it was, because I had asked, well, who makes that decision? What is it? He's like, well, it's based off of national averages of fuel and then what competitors are doing. And so I'm like, so who pulls the trigger on that? He's like, it's a company decision. Oh, so IT makes the decision? Yeah. So for those that are thinking that it isn't an IT thing because, you love the company that you run for, it is a company decision. Unless Matt's wrong, but again, he's in the office, it's two separate worlds, like there's drivers and there's the office. So unless he was misguided or misleading me, I don't know. But I take him for what he says, So does that mean, one, that I don't want to drive for IT anymore? No, not at all. I love the flexibility. I love we don't care about the drivers, view of things, because it just allows more flexibility, probably more than what should be allowed to be had by the drivers, especially when I hear other drivers for smaller companies that just get nitpicked left and right when it comes to different things they're doing logbook wise, this, that, whatever, you name it. But stay logical when you face adverse times. 3 cents a mile, you take that off. Are you still going to be able to make money? Yes. Per 1,000 miles that you travel, you'll be out $30. So, like myself, outside of backhauls, typically do about an 1,100 mile trip a week. So that's $33 a week. Round down to 30, 60, $120 a month in my revenue. That'll be lost. Again, if you're a 2,000 mile a week hauler or whatnot, it adds up a little more, but it won't be what puts you out of business. I saw someone, oh, great, I just bought a new truck. Well, hard, you shouldn't have bought a new truck. You should have bought a used truck. Anyways, it just goes back to treating this like a business and not just like you're out riding around hauling campers all over. Are you doing a good job of not spending $16 to $20 a meal every time you stop at a truck stop? Are you regulating the speed that you're going at? You're like, but I'm going to go 70, 75. Well, I'll put a card up here somewhere. When I really stuck to my peak torque RPMs, just literally by doing that, I started saving $150 to $200 a week that I normally was throwing at fuel. Now, if it's based off fuel prices, they're not going down, so it makes no sense on that. It's just, hey, 3 cents a mile, and you got all these drivers. They just made a nice little increase in their profit margins come the end of the year because of that small little decision. It's kind of like when I started implementing enrollment fees after about a year and a half or so of having the facility, after a mentorship program that I had went through. It was instantly, we started making more money. All because we started charging enrollment fees. Well, everybody does it, and I always just felt bad, like, what the hell's the point of that? Well, everybody else is doing it, you do it, and then you have more money coming in, you're more profitable, you can do more things with it. And again, this is not a shameless plug or anything, but I had mentioned it in a video. This is a great opportunity to monitor how profitable you are with your runs. So a video or two ago, I had made a proposition of doing I think what I said was a 7-day challenge, like a 7-day profit first challenge. And so what we would do is we would track what you're currently doing, what you have been doing on a few different metrics. Over the 7 days, we would start tweaking some of the things that you're doing. And then we would compare pre-profit, post-profit. How much money are you saving on a weekly, a monthly, and an annual basis? So, when things change not for your favor, well, you don't throw a fit about it and be a little bitch. You nut up and you figure out a solution to make the best of it. So if that's something that you're interested in, and you don't have to be an IT driver for that, go ahead, comment below, Profit First Challenge. Comment below, Profit First Challenge. Comment below. I don't know why I did that. And again, I think when it comes to the rate, we're still making more than what was being paid out to drivers pre-COVID. From my understanding, like talking with High Mileage Helper, my friend Travis that got me into it, this fuel surcharge or the bonus incentive pay wasn't even part of your rate, and you were making, you know, on single poles like $1.40 a mile, not $1.60, 69 a mile or whatever. So there's still money to be had in RV transport. There's different levels to the game when it comes to RV transport. So like I just talked to a friend in the same area that I live in, was, you know, hey, he just bought himself I think it was a 3/4 ton truck. And he was asking me, you know, hey, if I were to leave my job and just do this full time, you know, what could you make? And, you know, I was like, hey, 60 to 75, like take home, pay your bills, that including your truck and insurance payment. Easy. You know, you're not gone all the time. You can make more than that. What I'd suggest though is if you like it, level up. Get into one of the multi-haul divisions, because you can do the same exact route and almost double your pay, if not, you know, increase it by about 75% of what you were making. So just some food for thought. You know, hey, stay cool, stay calm, be profitable, and let's move some campers, baby.